And when you'll be able to spend the direction, Nexus Gaming trying to nestle in, but also got the dualies in close proximity. That's a great pot flash, but it means nothing as BTN drops a great flash in, allowing Adron to do some cleaning up. That's a double kill for him, maybe a triple. The dualies doing great work. 4 Ps for Adron. And this is just the first round of the game. Adron doing work. Early morning. Adron, that's a bit of an aggressive play. Gets caught off by Zorte. And then BETBOOM just increasing that advantage. Really not taking any prisoners. Nexus Gaming can't quite trade out any of these frags.
For a team and team play, but a hardcore singular star, I mean, that's something they are missing. That's something BETBOOM do have, though, with Axar's current form. Definitely looking a bit better, a bit like his old self and Siren. Yeah?
Yeah, you know, they're all capable of it. Major attendees, major winners. It's definitely within the realm of reason to expect them to be at a great level, and so far, not really greeting much resistance. They've been on form, and there's nothing much slowing them down this time around. Maybe a smoke, but they do not care. Great pot flash. The pistol cannot really find too much, especially when Adron's got an elbow in front of his head, unable to see. Magna just doing clean work. YaLLa, the only one with an AWP in play, but Sound does upgrade to an AK. Does give you a sense that there might be a chance to get an extra pick, but without Raga being nearby, without a rifle also being in his hands, and BETBOOM settling down into defensive positions, it definitely doesn't help their case. Nexus already opting to drop back from this. The rest of the players, I've got a feeling Nexus Gaming need to go for this retake.
Plant can come through and utility will still be exchanged, but MagnaJez again playing on the front foot, again getting away with a frag, and Siren will stop BTN from working his way through camera. YaLLa may get one more, but suddenly out of nowhere he's lost alive. Another nice pick on Zorta, taking down his counterpart.
Double-sided attack to not only gain an extra angle onto Adron, but also shut down the rotations, force the long way around when it comes to any sort of wraparound. Adron needs this collection, and he ends up getting it, and now he's got a friend around. Sure, the bomb will be planted. BETBOOM have got themselves a positions, but that's when Axar pops in, and he looks behind on time as well. Raga not given an opportunity to chime in on the fray. This is clean and excellent work shown on this T side of BETBOOM. Being in the zone, flowing together as a unit, and this is exactly what BETBOOM are doing right now. Now opting towards the left-hand side, and it's exactly when Nexus Gaming are looking to break out themselves, trying to muster up some sort of a play, but it falls flat on its face, and BETBOOM instead will look to take clean ground control into the site itself. YaLLa falling low due to nades, but he's fallen under the radar, so potential collection for him, never mind. Boomich is able to do his job. Sure, BTN will be able to close up.
Okay setup for Nexus, but if they can get blocked off by util in these spots.
Raga's in a great position to shut down that play. Never mind, Magno is the one to connect with a headshot first and give space to his teammate. Just pop in the numbers. Axile also back end of the entry to the site. Siren also firing on all cylinders. BETBOOM, and as soon as they get themselves into a brawl, into a bar fight, they're the ones that come out on top. I forgot about Crims, to be honest.
I mean, some people do now, to be fair. Bless him.
Yeah.
Alright, Boomich. We re-entry this round now. Again, we've got the kill back in return. YaLLa has to deliver, but he's blind on plat. We get pelted by utility, and he's missed his opening shot. Good recovery, and he's dancing around, but shouldn't be there for too long, and Siren will remove him. Thankfully, BTN's on a quick rotation. It leaves it all down to Siren. 1 versus 2, gets the first immediately. BTN does show up with a big impact round to grab Nexus a scrape of the 3rd round.
The thing is, I didn't expect that round to be close as much as it was altogether, right? Given the fact that Nexus did get that early numbers advantage, but BETBOOM always had some sort of an answer. Good trades on the site, keeping close. For a moment there, after the first pickup that Siren collected, I thought, ooh, maybe this is a clutch moment. But it wasn't. Collected by Nexus, exactly what they needed to at least keep them in contention. 1 round remaining in the half, and they better hope it's theirs.
Sounds in there, position there. If you jiggle it, you might be walking into Zorta, and there you go. Most painful death, 400 damage with that AWP headshot. Raga on the other side of the smoke. Now to try and charge him down. That's very funny looking from Siren. And actually gets away with a second with the pistol. How is he doing this? He's picked up the AK and found a third. Madness. BETBOOM maybe a little bit lackadaisical to end the half here.
That was bonkers, mate. Given the fact that you had players shooting at you through a smoke, this is a standard position you take if you want an off angle on that hold, which is where the bullets were flying, but somehow they weren't connecting. He was in the matrix and he himself was shooting through the smoke again, but his were magnets, really, to the bullets of his opponents, sure.
Deficit, reminder the HUD is flipped. For now, we'll get that fixed for you. There we go.
Ah, that was very fast.
Out cans. And we're going to go for a double swing in mid, actually. And that's not something I would necessarily advise there. But they do bait them into Siren. There's multiple players coming away. Do they check the corner properly? They do check the doors properly. Well done. And Adron is doing some great work here. 1 bullet left in the clock. Will eventually allow the push through camera. And they've got a 4v2.
Indeed. Takeover should be simple here. You kind of hope that those mid players get away with 1 or 2 pick kills before they drop, and as well as Siren on double doors, potentially getting a trade. Doesn't really go their way. Bit of a 50-50, but it was also a gamble. It's not something you expect to go all that well, especially when you've got all 5 players of Nexus.
And those last 2 gun rounds at the end of the first half could prove to be hugely impactful.
Getting the kills on the MAC-10s as well isn't too bad of an ordeal.
Be at the moment with that bomb, and this is why the pressure being
they've
put
sold
onto
it.
the A bomb site by Nexus is actually really impactful, and they've kind of sold BETBOOM down the river. That's a lovely double entry from the captain BTN. Now Magnajet is trying to push them down. Great kill. Bomb plot is coming through in front of him, but BTN finds that one too, and the final frag. 23 can make that main event in Qatar, so could be pretty dangerous. One mistake could be enough. Oh my god, the flash for YaLLa. He can't get away. He's going to have to choose to fight. And you know what? Maybe that's a blessing in disguise. He tried to escape down the window into Canal, but he still gets a triple. 5-7's in play though.
Oh,
Magno gets 2. Back into an even scenario.
You know what's scary about this? The fact that Nexus game are even going towards the player that has the rifle. Oh. Never mind. At least on that T side, but now on the defensive they have to be a little bit more reactionary. Instead they're bunching up. This could be a brilliant setup for them. Smoke replaced. Raga double kill. Boomage is able to answer back in kind, but YaLLa is creating waves as well. Full access to the site. Nexus can get the bomb down and there's nothing BETBOOM can do about it. A real way of faking it, causing any rotations. BETBOOM have got the perfect setup for it, and Zorte is lined up on time. Axel not pressured from Connector either, so he can turn his full attention towards main. That is perfect, but Nexus have found themselves a few kills. Could be a way in. If Adron can get a double kill here, there might just be a chance. Oh, that's the first, but you've got to try and get the other one before the smoke fades.
Into CT, you're going to have to play a full 4v4 retake. This is now very awkward.
And you've even got BTN trying to cut off rotations. Zorte ends up getting a pickup. Boomage as well with the optimal angle on that. They've just broken through. Nexus haven't even been able to push onto site, get the bomb down, let alone be able to set up for this retake. It doesn't.
Pistols now as well. Boomage dodging bullets IRL. Me IRL. Very relatable.
Yeah. Ducking when you try to crouch or looking away when you're being flashed. Everybody has these moments, even pros. See it all the time. And BETBOOM make clean work of this pistol, just the boost of confidence, which I think was needed, to be fair. They've been lacking it for a little.
Get away. So 5v4. Missed utility coming in as well. That nade will bank off the wall, and with Raga winning that one and that one, that'll be Nexus on double digits.
I'm really enjoying this change of pace here from Nexus. Knowing that when you play the slow, drawn-out gameplay, BETBOOM have got a clear read.
Get a few and far between main event for the likes of a Partisan or a Nexus or even an Ents at this point. And Sound, Magno has been usually pretty good on these, but a delayed flash also catches Axile. Great bit of utility usage there from Nexus, and suddenly It's an absolute necessity of a save for BETBOOM.
You've got to make a decision, and it's a difficult one to make. BETBOOM have been able to circumnavigate. You've got a player with a deep mid-exploration that YaLLa won't be looking in on time. Sure, Axel gets the pickup early, but you're kind of wondering if it's going to be a B. Takes YaLLa instead, turns around on time. That's the pickup you need. Sorta, though, is doing wonder work on the defensive here. Boomich as well. Attempt.
Oh,
Magno, this is risky. He's going for the lookout. Spots as one player around and turns his attention again towards connector. There's YaLLa, drops instantly. BETBOOM have been able to stabilize here. 40 seconds. Nexus seem to be making a decision. They've dropped the smoke on site and looking to close in slowly. But again, they are taking their time with this. Molly to enter backside. Sound, it's just seconds before he starts to drop in. BETBOOM still unaware of what could potentially be happening as the trigger to this attack hasn't quite been pressed. Sound and Adron double up. BETBOOM might be in trouble. You've got to close down the distance here. And Adron does exactly that. Bomb will be dropping and it's all down to Zorte. And Nexus might have just found an opening. Slowly but surely, closing onto the A site. You sort of hope for BETBOOM that Magno can get away with a pickup. Instead, Adron has been unleashed. Nothing stops that bullet finding its mark.
Again, they're so willing to go for these opening fights, and BETBOOM on the CT side, we know, taking a couple of heroic performances to get those rounds on the board. And again, Axel tagged up. Magno trying to go for a spam, but has to go for a reload. There is smokes and mollies littering the bomb site. Boomich is struggling. He gets taken down. It's falling apart. In the early overtime round.
Siren now is the next one being contested, but he's all by himself, hoping that he could get a pickup. He does indeed get one, and opts the back out of it. Boomich on the rotation. Silver lining for BETBOOM. They're in this round. Double the amount of players available.
Waiting for the two-man rotation to go for a proper four-man retake, but again, Axel gets caught. Now,
YaLLa. He thought it would have been him to have impact here, but instead it's Raga that pokes and prods from two different positions, weaving in and out of battle like a madman. Can't quite connect on the final mark. YaLLa down to 4 HP. Which
numbers that you mentioned, there's so many players covering specific angles, but they will look away from E-Box at the wrong time. That gives an opening for a 2-for-1, and the bomb can go down, and that feels safe enough to me.
It does, but if it were 2 players remaining here for Nexus, you'd call it off. But 3, maybe there's a chance. And that's exactly what they're going for. For BETBOOM, Nexus Gaming, this is what they were worried about in the first round of this half. But they've done it the second, and BETBOOM want to seize the opportunity to break through with numbers advantage. Sound does shut down the players crossing through, but it's still BETBOOM trying to do damage due to Molly and shutting down players that have been flushed out of their corners. Beautifully done. He make rash decisions. Nexus, on the other hand, they've got to take a bit of a gamble, and they might have just made the right one. Breaking through mid could permit them a lot, but instead Zorte's got his crosshair lined up at the right place at the right time. The trading game still favors BETBOOM.
Big upset win, but BETBOOM will drag it over the line. Tested heavily.